In life, we are often taught to chase after the best outcomes, to strive for joy, for success, for love. But reality, in its most honest form, does not always offer us something to win. At times, it presents us only with losses and asks us to choose the lesser one. When we accept this truth, something shifts. The fog of confusion begins to clear, and in its place arises a deeper responsibility to act with clarity, not hope. To respond with resolve, not hesitation. Seneca once wrote, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." These words echo through the quiet spaces of our lives, reminding us that to make progress, we must first make a choice. There are moments when life gives us simple decisions, a chance to gain more or gain less. These are easy. We follow the obvious reward. There are moments when we can choose to protect what we have or risk losing it. Again, the path is clear. But then come the hard moments, the ones no one prepares us for. The moments when every option feels like pain. Do we lose a little or do we lose everything? These are the decisions that shape us, not because they feel good, but because they require us to act without applause, without assurance, only with strength. And it is here that Stoicism becomes not a philosophy, but a compass. Let us walk gently out into some of these storms and reflect. Sometimes the heart breaks, not because it wants to, but because it must. Someone walks away, and though the past was once beautiful, it has now turned into silence. In these moments, many of us linger, hoping, dreaming, reaching for something already gone. But the quiet truth is this: the relationship is over the moment one person decides to leave. Holding on is not love, it is resistance. And resistance, when prolonged, becomes suffering. There is no shame in grieving, but there is great harm in denying reality. To choose to let go while painful is a form of self-respect. It is not defeat, it is the first step toward healing. Seneca reminds us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. To imagine they'll return, to believe we can rewrite the ending, is to remain trapped in fiction. But the Stoic path invites us to choose the truth even when it hurts. And then there is the weight of loss in another form, the loss of money, of stability, of investment. We take a risk, it fails. And yet, rather than accept the loss, we delay. We tell ourselves it will turn around. That time will fix what decision could. But time without action is not healing, it is erosion. In financial matters, as in life, we are often given the chance to lose a little or lose a lot. Cutting our losses is not weakness, it is wisdom. Epictetus said, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen." Hope is beautiful. But when hope ignores reality, it becomes a trap. To choose the smaller loss is to choose the future. And what of debt? That silent weight we carry in private. When the numbers grow and the shame builds, many retreat, waiting, hiding, hoping someone will rescue them. But debt is not a ghost, it is a chain. And every day you delay, that chain tightens. The answer is not in fantasy, it is in action. Even the smallest steps, taking a job, making payments, cutting expenses, bring movement, bring air, bring dignity. To delay is to sink deeper. To act even imperfectly is to rise. And here we arrive, at the core of it all. Most people do not get stuck because they fail. They get stuck because they refuse to choose. They wait for the perfect option. They delay in the name of comfort. They hope the pain will pass, if ignored long enough. But life is not moved by our avoidance. The longer we hesitate, the more the cost rises. We lose time, we lose youth, we lose clarity, and worst of all, we lose ourselves. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Clarity is not something life hands us. It is something we choose. And in choosing, we begin to breathe again. So let this be your moment of stillness. If you are facing a painful decision, one with no happy ending, look closer. Ask yourself, Which path brings honest discomfort, and which path hides long-term destruction beneath short-term relief? The former is the Stoic path, the path of lesser pain, the path of silent courage. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way, and so what you are avoiding may in fact be your beginning. Beneath the fear of loss, there is an invitation to grow. Beneath the sting of letting go, there is freedom. Beneath the ache of choosing, there is life. You do not need to be fearless. You only need to be honest. You do not need to be certain. You only need to act, even if it hurts, even if it costs you something, because that is how you move forward. That is how you stop sinking. That is how you begin again. So wherever you are in love and finance, in failure, step forward. Not toward perfection, but toward clarity. Not toward ease, but toward strength. And in doing so, you honor yourself. You reclaim your time. You preserve your energy. You become more than the problem. You become the one who faced it. The Stoics do not promise a painless life, but they offer something more enduring, the power to suffer wisely, to choose bravely, and to live with integrity. So may you always recognize life's hidden equations. May you always choose the path that leads to less regret. And may you walk forward even in loss, knowing that you are not falling behind. You are simply becoming. And that too is progress. If this reflection has stirred something within you, consider joining us on the path of inner strength and quiet wisdom. Subscribe to the Stoic Shine and let timeless philosophy guide your modern life.